Welcome back to another episode of Daily Spark, where in just a few minutes, we unlock your human advantage in a world with AI. I'm your host, Dr. Saba Kidwai. Today, we're going to be exploring a provocative theme and one of my favorites, breaking the rules. It's about challenging the status quo and the surprising power of trust and relationships when creating a culture where people feel comfortable breaking the rules. Now, in our last episode, I shared the culture of learning that Satya Nadella used to transform Microsoft and his unwavering belief in the importance of leading with empathy. But there's more to that culture than just learning. It's about making people feel safe to try new things and ask questions and share ideas. In the book, The Infinite Game, Simon Sinek observes that in weak cultures, strategy is found in rigid adherence to rules. And it creates this bureaucratic mindset. However, this often erodes trust, both within and outside the organization. In contrast, though, strong cultures find their strength in relationships. The signature of a high-performing team is trust. And this realization prompts a really important question. Are we holding onto the rules at the expense of building relationships and trust in our organizations? I want you to think about this for a moment. How often do we stick to the rules because that's the way it's always been done? In many workplaces and areas of life, it's like we're programmed to follow a script, even if it's hurting us and stifling our own creativity and stopping us from being able to connect with one another in more meaningful ways. So today, we're going to shake things up a little bit. What if stepping outside of the lines could actually strengthen our relationships, foster deeper trust in our organizations? What if breaking a rule here and there led to innovation and growth? It's not about throwing all the rules out the window, but rather being able to take a look and evaluating the different rules and asking, do these support our growth or are these holding us back? Consider the most innovative and impactful teams and leaders that you know or you've read about. Who comes to mind for you? Chances are they have one thing in common. They had the courage to break the rules when the rules were no longer working for them. They prioritized trust, empathy, connection, and really creating environments where they didn't just throw out everything that they knew, but they took calculated risks that had been evaluated and examined and thought through to be able to get better results for the organization they were in. As always, these few minutes together are about being able to take these ideas and put them into practice. So here's today's Spark scenario for you. And as always, you can find the prompt in the show notes ready for you to modify, cut, and paste. I really hope to inspire you to look at the rules in your life. So I want you to ask yourself, which of these rules are helping you grow and which of these rules are holding you back? I want you to imagine a world where we measure success not by how well we follow the rules, but by the strength of our relationships and the courage we have to try new things. So to guide that reflection, here is today's Spark scenario. The situation is, I want you to identify a rule in your work or your personal life that feels restrictive. The problem? I want you to consider how this rule might be limiting your creativity or growth. Your aspiration. I want you to imagine a scenario where breaking this rule could lead to greater trust, connection, or better results in innovation. What would those results look like if you broke that rule and you were able to create those outcomes? And then, of course, ask ChatGPT or whichever AI tool you're using for 4 ways in which you could do this. As always, like I shared, the prompt is in the show notes for you, ready for you to cut, paste, and put in the rule you're thinking about breaking. Now, if you dare, I want you to take that idea, that small step towards challenging a rule that no longer is serving you. Because remember, in our fast-changing world, sometimes the rules need to change as well. Oh, and if you want to run it by me and say, hey, this is the rule I'm thinking about breaking, this is the step that I'm thinking about taking, my DMs are always open for my fellow rebels. If this episode sparked a new idea, approach, or question for you, I would love to hear about it. What rules have you been breaking? What rules are you thinking about breaking? I want you to share your story and your thoughts. I want you to share your story and your thoughts with me. You can do it via email. You'll find me in my social media through the DMs or send me a voice message or any other way that you prefer. We are always excited to highlight our stories from the community with our other listeners so that we can all be inspired together from what happens when we see that daily spark.